custom GPTs. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Jesse's going to go over Loveable. Lysle is going to go over some HeyOrca AI features that are super great. And Jessica is going to go over some video editing AI tools, and Natalie's going to go over some AI Canva features. So much to go over. We're very excited. But before we dive in, I'm going to pass it over to Jesse, who has some pretty cool stats to go over.
Oops, we both clicked next at the same time. All right, so I think a lot of you are probably asking, should I be using AI? Should I not be using AI? And there's a lot of differing opinions out there on the market. So I don't think I'll actually tell you whether you should or not. It will be a personal opinion, but I do want to present some facts that might help you with your decision making. So earlier this year, we asked our community, are you using AI? How frequently are you using it? And if you are using it, what are the tools? And these are the results that we got. So on the left side pie chart, you can see that's where we asked how frequently you use it. 44.9% of our community said yes, frequently. 44% said occasionally, and then 11% said not at all. So we noticed that the social media managers that are most likely to be using AI are often in marketing agencies, which I thought was interesting. And then we also asked which AI-powered tools are most popular. The big winner here was AI-generated captions, which I thought was very interesting at 54%. And then from there, it went AI-assisted design, scheduling tools, reporting, and then moderation was last. So we had asked our community this information, but we also wanted to see on our side, what are we noticing in terms of a customer acquisition standpoint? So on the left-hand chart, what we noticed was that month over month, more and more people are visiting our website via ChatGPT. So you can see on the left side of the chart in October 2024, very few people are coming to our site through ChatGPT. Fast forward to July 2025, and there are tons more coming to our website, just growing a lot every month. We also ask when people sign up for a trial, how did you hear about us? Why did you sign up? And this is not a drop down. This is just people self-identifying themselves. And we have noticed that month over month, more and more people are citing ChatGPT as the reason that they're trying HeyOrca. Amali, so how do you find that out? The left chart here is through Google Analytics. And then this right one we use through HubSpot because we track how you've heard about us basically while they sign up. What does it mean for folks becoming? It just means that the session right before they come to the website is coming from ChatGPT. So yeah, I just thought it was very interesting that more and more people are using ChatGPT to be making marketing decisions pretty much. And finally, I just want to talk about a few recommendations or takeaways from this info. So should you use it, should you not? My rec, at least, is to stay up to date with the latest AI capabilities, which I think all of you are because you're here today. And then you can also automate repetitive tasks such as scheduling and reporting, but keep strategy, creativity, and community building human-led. And also just be mindful of AI when creating content for your brand. I think a few months back when that ChatGPT trend of making an action figure went live, at least the Canadians here might have seen Michael's, which is a craft store, use it on social. And their community didn't necessarily react positively because they are a store that provides supplies to artists. So this might not be your situation, but it's just something to keep in mind moving forward. And I will, Kiana, same. I just go to chat for everything. But yeah, I'll now pass it to Alyssa. Speaking of ChatGPT.
Perfect segue. Yes. Okay. So I'll give a little backstory. I kind of said it a little bit at the beginning, but HeyOrca, the team at HeyOrca did a hackathon a few weeks ago where everyone did a project on something AI related. So I really wanted to create something that would make life a little easier when making the newsletter. So if you're on our newsletter, you know that I include social news every day. And I have my usual spots where I go and search for social news, but I really wanted to create something that could just grab it for me. So I'm going to show you what I created. So I will share my screen. Okay. Just want to make sure. Okay, yes, here we go. Okay, so I learned how to make a custom GPT, which I will quickly show you after this. But I wanted to make a social media reporter to help me grab social news. So I named it Oscar, obviously. And so it gives me a few different prompts. So I'll show you an example of one. So if I want to know, give me this morning's platform updates, and it's going to think about it. I'm sure it's going to go slower because I'm sharing my screen. But there we go. So now it has some updates for me. I will say this GPT is not perfect because it doesn't grab super recent. Like if I want like past 24-hour news, if for some reason can't do it, like it gives me a little bit. So I'm still like tweaking it. So it's definitely not perfect. I still have to look on my usual social media blogs, but I'm hoping to get it working at some point. So I made this one, and then I did play around with another one. So this is Oscar's other one, the Trend Finder. So as you know, we do social trends in our newsletter. Shout out Jessica, Natalie. Jessie also gives these trends. They always grab so many amazing ones. So I wanted to see, could ChatGPT do this for us as well? So this is an example of this one. While it thinks, you'll see that it's also not perfect. It has some that have been trending for a while. Sometimes they're not super relevant, but still really cool because it does go into detail. Maybe if we want to talk about a trend a little bit more deeply, it will give us a little more information. So it's a really good starting point, and then you can kind of go from there. Again, not perfect. I have to tweak these because they're not exactly how I want, but it is pretty cool, and it does really help with brainstorming and all of that. I'm just going to check out the chat. Okay, yeah. So for to make custom GPTs, you do have to have a paid account. I believe it's $20 a month. So that's one disclaimer for this. So I thought I will quickly show you, if you do have a paid account, on the sidebar here, you will find the GPT area. So there's actually so many that are already created. So you could go through these. Maybe there's one that's already created that you can use in your workflow. But say you want to make your own, you can go to create. So when I was learning how to do this, I didn't realize it actually is so quick to make one. So you will have this area here, and you're essentially just going to talk back and forth with it to make your custom GPT. So I'm going to keep this one super basic so I don't take forever. But I'm going to say, can you make me a weekly recipe list for grocery shopping? Oops. So that's what I want it to do. And pretty much it's now going to go back and forth with me multiple times just to try to really get what I'm wanting from this. It will tell me what kind of food, if I want healthy food, if I'm on a budget, and then it will make that custom GPT so that when I go into it, every time I want to use it, these prompts will already be at the top, and then it will give me that list of recipes. So it really doesn't take very long. I think it took me like a couple minutes to set up each of these. So definitely worth a try. One of our past webinar guests actually told us that they do this for onboarding when they have new employees start, which is pretty cool. So there's so much you can do with this. It's very easy to use. I thought it was going to be a lot harder. So if you do have a paid account, I would definitely check it out. What's the benefit of making a custom GPT? I think the benefit is just that it's already set up for you. So those prompts that you would use in ChatGPT, the regular one, they're already there for you so that you don't have to, put everything back in again. But yeah, that is everything on my end. I will stop sharing here and I will share the presentation back. All right. Oh, I see a question. Do you think the $20 is worth it? I think if you use it all the time, I would say it's worth it. I'm still getting used to it all, so I probably don't take advantage of it as much as I should, but if you are using it a lot, I would recommend. Awesome. I'll pass it over to Jessie.
Amazing. Okay, so I was exploring during our AI hackathon a software called Loveable. So if you've never heard of this before, it's basically a software that allows you to build software products using only a chat interface. I promise I am not a technical person by any means, but I can use this, so that means others can as well. There is a free plan. It's not as comprehensive as like ChatGPT's free plan, for example, but it does allow you to play around in case you're curious. And the most common use case for Loveable is prototyping. So for example, if you're creating tools, landing pages, in-app features, etc. I was recommended this by our product designer, Christine, as well as our CEO, Joe. So I think you'll see in a second why it does have that lens to it. So I just want to share with you what I had created using Loveable. I'm just going to switch screens. Okay, so I created a calculator. Okay, this is very impressive to me because back in the day, if a marketer wanted a tool, most cases you'd have to go to a dev team or the designer and be like, okay, this is what I want to do. And then they would build it for you. And then if you're working at a small company like HeyOrca, there's obviously a lot of competing priorities. So it's not always easy to get your project pushed forward. But with Loveable, you can do it yourself, which is just so exciting. So I built a calculator based on some feedback that we received in the Facebook group. We get the question a lot, how much should I charge for XYZ social media project? And oftentimes the social media manager asking this isn't quite sure what to consider before creating some sort of budget or proposal for their clients. So I wanted to create a calculator that has all of the information you can ever need in it. So client details, I'm just going to pick some random ones here just to show you how it works. So yeah, size, location, expected frequency of check-in with the clients, and then project details, what type of project, what platforms are you on, how many posts are you doing, are you cross-posting, and then other services. Again, just picking random ones here. And then third one is about yourself. So about the social media manager, what is your experience level, team size, project duration, and what other software do you need to pay for to do this project. From there, it will calculate the pricing. Obviously, this is quite a large range. I need to fix it a little bit so that it is a smaller range, but it will at least get you started on a budget for your project. So as I said, I am not a developer whatsoever. I am not a technical marketer either, but I built this all myself. So I'm just going to quickly show you how I did that and just switch over to the back end. Okay, so this is the back end. As you can see, it looks pretty similar to what you see in ChatGPT. There is a prompt section here on the left. I just go back and forth with the AI, and then it updates here. And it's super easy to use. In fact, within a few prompts, the calculator already existed. It really just took a lot more prompts after that to make it more HeyOrca focused. Emily, you are so nice. People joke about that, but I don't think I'm ready to do that. I'm adding developer to my resume. But yeah, it's super easy. All you need to do is ask it a question and it will update. For example, if I wanted to change pricing recommendations here, I could just say, please change pricing recommendations in the calculator to pricing recs. I just press enter, and similar to ChatGPT, it'll take a second to think, and then hopefully, if it's not going to embarrass me on screen, it will make the adjustment in a second. And the nice thing is that you can always go back and go to a previous version as well. So I'm just going to wait 2 more seconds, and hopefully it makes the adjustment. Oh my gosh, this is so stressful. Yay, it did it. Okay, pricing recs, you can see it right here. So that's it. It's super easy. Juliana, do I have it linked to any type of backend database? No, that is definitely an opportunity for this. Right now, it's just using random estimates from the internet, but it is a good start. And I just want to see if there's any other questions. I will drop the link. You guys can all see the working app. We're going to put it on our website eventually, but here's an early access. But yeah, that was my project.
So impressive. That is so cool.
Diane, what other projects would you recommend for this platform? We are adding a pricing calculator to our website, so it was a good place to prototype that tool. We've used it for just coming up with new landing pages, in-app features. It's really just anything that requires a visual, I would say. You could use it. Oh, you guys are all very nice. Thank you. All right, I will pass it. Oh my gosh, sorry. Sorry, Lyle.
No, that's so fun. That's okay. We keep clicking the same arrow at the same time. Actually, Jesse, not to put you on the spot, but I saw some questions. Is there any plan to have this social media pricing rate calculator like open to the public?
Yeah, you can actually use the preview that I put in the app, but we will put it on our website. I just need to change the subdomain so that it fits HeyOrca a little bit better.
Nice. That's awesome. Okay, I'm going to go over just 3 HeyOrca AI features that I use in my workflow. So the first one is the AI generated alt text, but I use this in kind of a different way because I don't use it necessarily to add alt text to my social posts, but I do use it to add alt text to images that I use elsewhere. So for example, if you're a HeyOrca customer, you would have gotten actually this exact email today from Noelle, but I help set it up on the back end. So one of the things I like to do is, of course, add alt text to the image. And often with HeyOrca, we're using images that are kind of complicated to describe. They're often like graphics and collages. So there's a lot of different pieces that I want to include in the alt text, and it can be kind of overwhelming to know where to start. So that's why I use HeyOrca to help me. So I just drag and drop my image into the media library. And at first I was kind of stressed about doing this because I was like, oh, I'm going to add way too many images and I'm going to like mess up Jessica and Natalie's like flow that they have, but you can add unlimited images, so you're fine. So then you can just press on the little 3, I don't know what to call this, the ellipses icon, and click on add alt text. And then using AI, HeyOrca is going to offer some AI generated alt text suggestions. It actually analyzes the image itself that you upload. So I pull from these and then add them to either the email or like a blog post that I'm working on. And then of course, like with any sort of AI suggestion, I make my own edits, but it's really helpful like in just getting a good place to start. Because like I said, sometimes it's tough to start. Also, random plug, I'm going back. I'm going rogue already. But if you did receive this email, and if you receive other emails from us, we do read every single reply. So if you're ever in a silly, goofy mood, you can reply and we can chat. I love reading the replies. That's why I wanted to plug that. Okay. So next, 2 more tools that I use. The first one is AI brand voice and content grader. And then the second one is AI reply suggestions. So I actually recorded a little video to walk you through that. So here is AI brand voice and content grader. Let's hope this works. Okay, so this is me just trying to demonstrate how to do it. So I created a sample like test post in the HeyOrca calendar for Instagram. And I input a totally off-brand caption, and I think it's going to say test, test. I don't have anything fun to say, sadly, blah, 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 wah, because I was in a silly, goofy mood. But obviously that's not on brand, and I would never want to post that from HeyOrca, not just because it's not on brand, but also because it makes no sense. So I'm going to create my post using that caption. And then when it loads, I can click into the caption. And using AI here, HeyOrca is going to give me a brand score. So I would expect this brand score to be quite low. So it's going to give me my score, and it is 20%. So I obviously want to improve that. So when I click on the brand score, it says I need to improve, and it gives me some AI generated suggestions like use a positive, upbeat tone, add playful language or puns, and focus on community building, which is all very accurate of the HeyOrca brand voice that we strive to achieve in our captions. And then I can go ahead and apply the AI generated caption to my post. So I just clicked in there. And then of course I want to make my own edits. So just as an example, I removed Hey Pod from this post. And when I did that, it's going to generate a new brand score for me. And I would hope that this one's a little bit higher. So it's giving me 85% there. And then I can go on and make further iterations. So if you are a HeyOrca user and you're interested in using this tool, you can apply your brand voice in your settings. So go to settings there, and then you can click on brand voice in like the little menu tab. And then you can go ahead and copy and paste your brand voice guidelines just into the text box there. And then this brand voice is going to apply to whatever calendar you're working on. So if you have multiple clients, you can have multiple brand voices, a brand voice per calendar, essentially. So if you're an agency, it's a really helpful way to make sure your whole team is writing captions that are on brand. But also if you work if you're working with a client that's maybe like in a compliance industry or has like limitations on the terms and language they want to use, this can be really helpful as well. And then I have one more to show you. I see, Michael, a Jack Astor's comment. You know better than to comment that because I'm going to go off about Jack Astor's. I got to stay on task here. Okay, so this one is AI reply suggestions. So Jessica and Natalie do a fabulous job at monitoring our social inbox at HeyOrca, but if ever they're away, the rest of us will step in and monitor the inbox. And our inbox can get quite busy. So one thing I like to rely on is our AI reply suggestions. So just as an example here, I went and commented from my personal Instagram on a HeyOrca post, and it's the little orange Oscar post for Taylor Swift's recent album announcement. So I commented, what did I comment? I think I said, oh yeah, Oscar is at it again, which is a reference to that trend post that we posted with the fake apology. So anyway, when I click into reply, AI generated suggestions are going to pop up. And so I went ahead and selected one. Of course, I want to make my own edits. So I just sort of shortened this response and added an emoji. And I'm happy with this response. However, if I wanted something that sounds a little bit more HeyOrca, I can turn on that apply brand voice and I'll get some responses in our case that are a little bit more friendly, punny, just because that is our brand voice. But I'm happy with this one, so I can just press send. And then just for fun, I went and checked the post to make sure that my comment popped up and you'll see that it's there. So that just helps me be a lot faster in the social inbox. But like I said, hopefully I've made it clear. I would always suggest to edit whatever AI spits out because you want to put that human touch on it. And that is it from me. Alyssa, I might need your assistance pulling up the presentation again.
I will grab it. Don't worry. And I'm just trying to see if we have any questions that haven't been answered yet. Yes, if you aren't using HeyOrca, you do have to use it to get access to these features, but you can try it out on a free trial. Perfect. All right, I may have missed a few questions. If I did, we will revisit them at the end, but we can keep going.
Okay, yay, it's my turn. So I'm going to be talking about CapCut because that's the main editing tool that I use. And then I'm going to talk about Descript, which is they market themselves as an AI editing tool, actually. So I will talk about that after CapCut. So let me show you the one AI tool that I use basically every time I edit a video is Transcript. If it's a talking video, it's so good. So I'm going to show it to you in a screen recording, but it's completely free. So let's just say you have a client that sends you a talking video and it's like 6 minutes long. All you have to do is pull up Transcript and then you can just edit the words and the video will actually cut up. So let me show you that. Alyssa, can you pull up the... Okay, perfect. So right here, this is Lyle's video. It was very long, but I love that because then there's so many versions of it that I can actually cut up. So you can see I click Transcript, and here, all I have to do is remove the filler words, and then I can just go ahead and delete it. If I delete it in the text area here, it automatically deletes in the actual video. So that is so cool. They even have a new feature where if she says something like a word instead of don't, and she wanted I do instead of I don't, I can actually just delete the word here and type in do instead of don't. And then they use some sort of AI thing and it will change how she says it. So I feel like that's just like so awesome, and it cuts down so much time. So instead of sitting there for 6 minutes and like taking 3 hours to edit something, it cuts it down to like an hour. And then you can always do the fine editings in here. So this is like absolutely my favorite feature ever, and I love that it's free. Okay, let me go back to the presentation. Anyways, life-changing, guys. You have to try it and let me know how you like it. Okay, audio noise removal. Even in my personal content, I use this. So basically, if you don't have a good mic or it's just a little noisy, like you're filming at a cafe or something, reduce your noise. They have so many different noise editing things here. This is just one of them. Literally so good. Makes your videos just more high tech, I guess. Like looks like you know what you're doing. There's AI remove, so kind of like Canva. You know how you can remove background stuff or remove little objects? You can do that in videos now too. So this is awesome. And then some other features that I don't use, but you might actually really like using is AI expand. So you can expand your image video. So if you don't have a like a 9:16 video, you can just expand that. Haven't used it yet. So if you guys use it, let me know how you like it. Because I film everything on my iPhone anyway. But let's just say you have a client that sends you a video that is like landscape. Could be a cool feature to use. Auto reframe and stabilize. If you're not filming, iPhone has pretty good stabilization, but let's just say your client's not using an iPhone and they're using a different phone. Would be really, really cool for it to just be stable. Most of these things are free. Some of them are not. So keep that in mind. My favorite one, transcript, is free. So on mobile and desktop. So if you want to use that, definitely download CapCut. The thing is, people were saying there were some legal things they weren't comfortable with, but I find that if you do not upload to cloud, you are fine. However, I do have an alternative for you. Don't worry. So if you don't want to use CapCut, I tested out Descript for you. They also have transcript tools. However, if you want to have more access, so basically, I tried the free trial, and I'll show you in a second the actual video. They only give you 1 hour of transcript. So I plopped in one of the webinars, and after you use up the hour, you can't upload anything else unless you pay for it. So that's the only thing. That's why I used CapCut, because it was completely free and you can do as many videos as you want. But the cool thing about Descript is they have so many AI things, but not even just video. You can brainstorm on the actual app as well. And then basically I plopped in the webinar, which is like usually 30 to 45 minutes. And then they will come up with a bunch of clips for you that you can repurpose into short form content. Also, they have like their own version of ChatGPT, and it's called Underlord, and you can just talk to him. So it literally just looks like ChatGPT, but for videos. So this is what it looks like. I asked them to find me some clips. So I click create clips, and then I just kind of give them specificities of like what I wanted them to do. So then they came up with clips for me. This is the first video with Alyssa and Natalie. And then she's going to pull up the video for you so you can watch one of the clips that they made.
Instagram says that 40% of creators who have tried trial reels started to post more, and 80% of them say they saw an increase in reach from non-followers. Our question to you is, have you tried trial reels? Is it working for you? Are you getting a lot more reach?
Yeah, so that is the first video that I kind of made. There is a huge learning curve personally for me, but it was crazy. I barely had to do anything. I just asked Underlord to do it for me, and it did that for me. So I was like, great, that's like 2 hours saved for me. But the downside is you do have to pay if you want to do more clips. So basically, I finally got the creator plan because I was complaining to Jessie. I was like, I used up my hour. And she's like, let's try the creator plan. So now I tried it with a different webinar. Now I asked them to make me clips. I gave them a prompt. They gave me 5 from this one video. So I gave them a topic. I wrote educational snippets of doing more with less, flexible social and community strategy for lean teams. So they had this prompt, and then I'm going to show you the 2 videos that out of the 5 that they gave me. So here's the first one.
We took all of that information, put it into a custom GPT,
along with brand guides and all that information. And we developed this onboarding trainer that they can interact with and that they can use to learn about our company, our brand, the voices, and all that stuff. It gives them a place to practice writing copy, and it gives them immediate feedback for it. If they miss something, it'll say, hey, don't forget to put this, or it'll give them suggestions on how to improve it. So I feel like I've replicated part of myself in that way, because if I tried to do that with all of our interns, I'd get burnout.
So here's an example of the video where I didn't do any edits. I kind of just let them remove all the filler words, and this is what they came up with. Here's the second. This is the last video I'm going to show you. This one was a bit weirder because the cuts were weird, but I'll just show you anyway. And then, yeah.
I think when you do hard things, you grow more. I'm also participating in this. I didn't just like put it off on their plate, but it's been really fun. And actually, I found that like once those external pressures are removed, or I have the systems in place to support me to actually do a good job with this, then it makes it a whole lot more exciting to go out and talk to people.
So that's Descript. They kind of just found these videos for me. And if you don't like the edits or you want to be more creative with it, it's another fun way to kind of just have a video AI tool tell you what would be good to post online. And then I can go ahead and maybe do my own edits, or if I want to do zoom ins or something like that. I thought it was really cool. I would recommend this for podcasts or just long form videos. If you want to do more TikTok trends or want to be more creative, this might not be the tool for you, but it's a really good option if you have a lot of clients and they want to do podcasts. Then I can just use Descript and then make the podcast style videos, and then I can spend more time focusing on my more creative style. So yeah, CapCut and Descript are the things I wanted to share.
All right, so it's time for me, and I am going to talk about my favorite Canva AI features. So we're going to talk about Canva's Magic Studio. I will put a disclaimer at the beginning that these are all paid features, but Canva does have a very good free trial. So recommend testing that out. And also, if anyone sees background remover at the very beginning and is like, boy, oh boy, is this basic? Trust me, I've just put that in there as a segue, and then the rest of them are hopefully much more interesting in case you're like, that looks like old news to me. But we will start off with background remover. So if you are unfamiliar with this feature, basically you upload your image onto Canva. You'll select the image, and then a bar will pop up at the very top, and you'll just click background remover. It is so common that they've like literally put it at the very top, and it will remove the background for you. So you can either have it be transparent, or you can add in different colors in the background, or if you're like, I'm not loving that color, you don't like the lavender color that I've chosen for this background, you can generate an entirely new background. So the way that you would do that is, again, just upload this image or use the same image you've got there. You'll select the image, select edit, and then scroll through Magic Studio till you get to background generator there. You'll select it, and then this is pretty cool. You'll write in what sort of background you want. So for example, I put in a grassy background, and it'll generate 4 options. As with many things AI, sometimes the options leave a little bit to be desired. For example, you can tell the perspective is a little bit off here, but you can always generate again, or you can just try different prompts. And so I was able to go from this pretty plain lavender background to something a little bit more interesting. The next tool I'll go over is Magic Expand. So this one's really helpful if you need to adjust a photo's dimensions to fit different formats, but to do it a little bit better. So let's say you've got this photo that's landscape style that you want to use in an Instagram story, but you don't want to crop, like zoom in, crop in super big on the dog's face. So what you would do is use Magic Expand. So again, I've got my Canva set up for an Instagram story. I've popped the photo in there. I've selected edit. I've scrolled through, and I'll select Magic Expand. And then you can expand the image to fit a certain aspect ratio, or you can fit the whole page of your design. And voila, you get the image expanded exactly to the format that you want. So pretty cool, pretty helpful. And I feel like it does a really good job of not looking too AI, right? The next one I'll talk about is Magic Grab. So this one's really good if you've got a subject in a photo and you want to move them around, but you don't want to change the background or you don't want to take away the background. So let's say we want to move this picture we want to move this person who's taking the picture over to the left a little bit. So again, sounding like a broken record here, but we're going to pop this image into Canva, click edit, select Magic Grab, and then it's going to scan the image and they'll show up in purple. You'll see there, this person taking the picture has now showed up in purple, and you can basically click him and drag him around and move him anywhere in the image. So super helpful if you wanted to like add text in a different area, something like that, and it keeps the background the exact same. And the very last feature that I'll go over is grab text. And I saved this one for last because when I started using this, it blew my mind. I think it's so cool. So let's say you have a flat image or you just got an image you took off the internet. So for this one, I'm using the book cover from actually our Chief Community Officer's upcoming book, little plug there. But let's say I wanted to tease this book coming out. So I wanted to change the title of it. So again, pop it into Canva, select edit, scroll through Magic Studio, select grab text, and then you can edit the text on the image. So it'll come up as like the text file. You can see it's like almost the exact same font. It's so cool. So you can change the text on it. So this is helpful if like, again, you've got a flat image or like you don't have the editable files, you can still edit the text and change it up. So that is probably the one that like blew my mind, that I was like, didn't know I could do this. So yeah, that is it for my Canva AI features. Just looking if I missed any questions.
I think we're all mind blown. There's certain things that like I had no idea even existed in Canva. So this is very cool. And now I want to try all of them.
Yeah, it's like once you get into it, it's like, whoa. And I feel like there's more that you can like look through. I just didn't want to drag this webinar on for hours.
Oh, Michael just put some AI tool recommendations in the chat. I love it. Yes, if you have any recommendations, leave them in the chat, or you could comment them on our poll that we have going on right now on our LinkedIn. Also, if you haven't voted on that poll, definitely check it out. We'll be pulling a winner from there tomorrow. But yeah, that is everything. I hope you enjoyed our show and tell style webinar today. There will be a survey going out, I believe 10 minutes after when this is done. Let us know if you like this format. It is super fun to have everyone on at the same time. So if you liked it, we'll do something like this again in the future. So thank you, ladies, for joining me today and showing off all your AI tools. And thank you, everyone, for coming. And we hope you have a great rest of your week. Thanks, everyone. Bye.